Welcome to J-Horror Oddities, a series dedicated to talking about all those Japanese horror films that no one ever really talks about. Now, previously, we've looked at a movie about a clown, a nude woman who kills zombies, and a bullied kid who uses a monster to get his revenge. All pretty wild stuff. This time, we're going to look at something a little bit more grounded. It still has weird, unexplained supernatural elements and a gaggle of annoying idle schoolgirls, but this movie has remained in Japan since its release with no English subtitled version available. Are you curious to know more? Well, let's get started. Prepare yourself, because not only do we have one or two or three idols, but we've got a whole band of them. At least I think we do. I don't really know who these girls are. But they seem to be a band and most of them can sing, or at least pretend to sing. So that's something, right? We start with a group of girls waiting for a bus to take them to a training camp with their professor/teacher. It's here we're introduced to Kaori and Maki, our two main characters, along with Miyata and Kame. Kaori is the lead harmonizer of the group, and there's a lot of jealousy in the group about who should be in that role. Short-haired Maki seems to have a crush on the teacher, while Kame, which means turtle when used as a nickname for someone who's a bit slow, is in crutches, and Miyata, full name Sane Miyata, takes over the leadership of the group when Kaori is struck down with illness. But I'm skipping a little ahead here, so let's get back to the story. On the bus ride to the camp, a kamikaze bird flies into the windshield, and while the driver cleans the mess, the girls play around with the radio and uncover a strange broadcast of a perfect harmony. This freaks them out because the girl is dead and they think it's bad luck. Indeed, it could be for someone. The teacher is then informed the campsite is not available and the bus is redirected to a different lodge, a lodge with a hidden past that the teacher knows all too well. But more on that later, because we'll need to build some tension first. The caretaker gives off some dodgy vibes, but that's because he's been accused of murder in the past. Now, literally, nothing important happens for the next 40 minutes except for we establish that the girls are using some kind of weird app on their phones that has a freaky ability to predict what will happen in the film. Maki gets pushed into the teacher and Kame in a clear accident. Kaori gets pushed into the lake. Kaori's voice breaks in practice, forcing her to rest and allowing Miyata to take over. One of the other girls gets her hair caught in a fan, almost scalping her, and Kame cuts her finger off in a kitchen accident that results in her needed to be rushed to a hospital. There you go. I told you, literally, nothing important happens. Except all of those points are important because they're predicted for by that weird app. Alright, now that we've got the first 40 uneventful minutes out of the way, let's continue. Some of the girls continue to use the app, but are shocked to find out where one of the rewards is a severed arm. Meanwhile, the teacher, Kame, and another girl use the caretaker's car to drive to the hospital, but they quickly find out they're driving in circles. Now, there's a lot of girl drama happening in the movie that I'm going to gloss over, because quite frankly, it's both annoying to follow and listen to. But most of it revolves around Kaori, and the girls don't think she should be the lead singer. After a pointless shower scene with no smut shown, Maki gets into an accident after she slips on a rug. While she stops herself from being impaled on some coat hooks, a mysterious hand grabs her head and pushes her into them. With no teacher around, the girls are in deep shit and they don't know what to do. The girls think the caretaker is trying to kill them, and two of them end up in the basement. Slice! One of them loses her arm, as was predicted in the spooky phone app. The teacher makes it back to the lodge and blames the caretaker for sending him on a wild goose chase, but now the truth gets revealed. The caretaker is innocent. Didn't see that coming, did you? He is a simple amateur photographer who managed to catch an incident involving the teacher and a student from about 10 years ago that happened in the lodge. Now we know why the teacher was so apprehensive about being there. The teacher was involved with a student, the girl who was singing the song in the radio at the start, and after breaking up their relationship, the girl went missing. Only parts of her body were found. And now the ghost of the girl is back to find the body parts she's missing, but instead of creating a treasure hunt game, she's cutting off parts of these girls instead. Somehow, Maki gets possessed by the spirit of the dead girl and starts attacking the rest of her band members. The purpose of this whole possession is to get the teacher to admit he was in a relationship with the girl and that her death is his fault, but typically doesn't take any responsibility for it. Then some usually slasher movie stuff happens, which then results in poor Kaori getting decapitated and Miyata being the only survivor of the whole incident. She has a dream, then wakes up and kills the teacher. What a silly film. You know what, I don't really know what to think of this film because for the most part, it's just quite boring and unexciting. The idea of a bunch of schoolgirls gathered together in a lodge usually makes for a solid horror movie premise. I mean, the Americans made good business out of that trope in the 80s, but these are different times. These are idol girls looking to become famous in real life, and the smut we would expect from a film like that just doesn't exist anymore. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad film because it's smutless. I'm saying it's a bad film because it feels like it's a mix of different stories or elements just put together. I mean, is it a slasher film? Is it a possession film? Is this about ghosts or something supernatural? Well, it's a bit of all three of those put together, but it's not done in a way that will make it memorable. Now, I'm still at a loss for trying to understand why everyone hates Kaori. It's also never really explained why poor Kame is in crutches or why Maki is the one who gets possessed. Although now that I actually come to think of it, I think that one's a bit self-explanatory because it seems that Maki has a crush on the teacher. So I think the ghost is, kind of using her weakness for something like that. Now, on a technical note, there's nothing really here to complain about. It's about the same token of that. There's nothing excited about this movie to get excited about. The hair in the fan scene is probably about the most exciting bit in the whole film, maybe followed closely by the finger getting cut off in the kitchen, but really nothing else is remarkable in the film, and you really don't get to see much. Not much gore, not much smut, really, not much of anything. Now, there's a reason this movie is both hard to find and has never been subtitled into English, and it's because it's just not that good. Now, using the patent pending ghost rating, which stands for great horror or stupid trash, this movie gets 2 ghosts out of 5. It's not a one ghost film because it's not completely terrible, and at least there's some element of supernatural in it and Japanese horror in it. It's not a horribly bad film by any stretch of the imagination, but it is still a bad film. It's not something that I would recommend you rush out and watch, unlike the nude zombie killing girl movie. That was pretty fun. Anyway, I'm the Artie Dans and you are watching J-Horror Oddities here on Shockmania. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If there is a J-Horror oddity that you know about that you think I should check out, leave me a comment below and I'll see if I can find it. Have a bit of success in finding some of these rare and hard to find Japanese movies thanks to a good friend of the channel. Now, I will catch you next time. Leave a comment below as always. Press thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever it is. And take it easy. Enjoy watching your horror movies and see you soon.